It's Table Talk Thursdays with the Tres Amigas, Deleen from Yoshea Lux, Laura, the Camochica, and Dee Dee from Dee Dee Bean. Let's talk luxury, contemporary, travel, and any other current luxury hot topics.
Happy Thursday and welcome to our first Table Talk. I am Laura, the Camochica.
I'm Deleen with Yoshea Lux.
And I'm Dee Dee from Dee Dee Bean.
Hopefully you enjoyed this little intro so you can learn a little bit more about the Tres Amigas. And so now that you're familiar with who we are, we thought it would be just fun to kind of talk about who our first was, right? Let's spill the tea, amigas. Let's spill the tea as to who our first was, especially when it came to purchasing like luxury handbags. And so we thought it would be fun to share that with you guys, because if you've been subscribed to our channel, you see the collection, the pieces that we have shared with you guys, but sometimes we might have not have talked about our first handbag, or what, why we love handbags, how we got into this, affliction of how we got into this addiction of loving
affliction.
Right,
affliction.
There's a lot of
It is an affliction.
That's right.
Addiction, affliction,
Yeah,
all of that,
affliction,
all
all that.
the addictions.
Yes, exactly. So I thought it would be fun to just kind of share with you, how we came about into, loving handbags, or luxury or contemporary handbags, whatever it is, because like Dee Dee says it best, if it's not something you need, it's luxury, right? So regardless of whether
That's
it
a
is,
good way to put it.
yeah, regardless of whether it is a contemporary handbag or whether it is, luxury or premier luxury, when you're talking to the higher designer brand names, because any little handbag from like Target or Walmart will do. But we love handbags and the things about them, whether it's a zipper, whether it's a clasp, whether it's, a button, something like that, or the handle or the color, it's just these things that we love about handbags and other things that we happen to have collected. All right, amiga, so let's chit chat about who was our first as far as handbags. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can be the first for the first.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. So I remember like any kind of like little bag that, was out or whatever. I just remember, loving handbags. And then I also, like in high school, of course, this was like in the late 80s, like early 90s. Liz Claiborne was actually
Oh my God, I remember
Liz
them.
Claiborne was actually really,
I
really
had
popular.
a Liz Claiborne bag.
And they came out in fun colors, remember? Because
Yes.
like they came out almost in like I want to say rubber, but it's not rubber, but it was like that plasticky kind of like it was a certain material that it wasn't like leather, but it just came in like fun colors, like pink and purple and blue, right? Like it just came in really, really cute colors, and you would see the girls in high school like carrying them, and they just came in different styles. And so I remember like that being like one of my very first, that was a big thing, right? That was a big thing. And like when I was a freshman in high school, like in, I don't know what the heck, 85, something like that, right? And so then, yeah, because we're in the club, remember, we're over 50.
Old. I'm older, but I just tell you.
But that was my first, that was like the first handbag that I remember like really wanting. And back then, when you're a kid, sometimes you don't have really like, an understanding of what things cost, because we're not working, right? Like we're not working. And so I remember I wanted a handbag so bad, and I remember my mom, I found one at Bell's, right? Bell's had
Oh
one.
my God, I used to shop there.
Yeah.
I worked there actually.
And I remember that there was one there like envelope style, and it was like in a taupey color. I've always been drawn to like taupe. And my mom put it on layaway, because I remember it was like,
they had
layaway.
That's how we afforded
Layaway.
everything.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Back then it was like layaway, and I remember the bag cost like maybe $45, but like
That
for her,
was
but that was a
expensive.
lot. That
Yeah,
was
unheard of,
expensive,
yeah.
yes. And so I remember she put it on layaway, and so I remember having a few Liz Claiborne handbags when I was in high school. And then I remember for graduation when I was a senior year, Dooney and Burke was starting to become like kind of starting to either come out, or I started to see it more, because then of course some people were carrying it, and it also came in nice colors, right? You had the leathers that were in a pretty like
Beautiful.
green and blues, and just like really, really
taupe.
nice ones, yeah, and the taupe. And so I remember at that point it was like moving, that was like my step up, and I feel like that's just been my progression for handbags, right? So it started with Liz Claiborne, and then but then for me actually, with my own money, working like my senior year, I remember I wanted a Dooney and Burke bag and a really pretty tote. Looked like a doctor satchel because it had the two
Oh, yes,
handles,
yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
And I just thought it was so pretty. And I remember my mom was looking on, we didn't have online back then, right? But we had the newspaper ads. And my mom was like a newspaper classifieds freak, right? Like she checked the classifieds for everything. And so I remember she was like, hi, mija, mira, they're selling, you know, a Dooney and Burke bag. And she called up the lady. And I remember we drove to her apartment and I saw the bag and I was like, yeah, that was actually what I wanted. And then I think I might have paid probably like $100 because back then they were like
that's a lot.
Yeah,
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 that's
it was,
a lot.
and that was a
Yeah,
lot.
back then it was.
And I remember paying that, and so that was like the first like bag that I remember spending money like myself, you know, from like working at the grocery store and buying it. And then for my graduation, my high school graduation, they gifted me a green one with the matching little green one. It was so
yeah.
cute. But
Was it the hunter green, the dark?
it was like
hunter
a,
green?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really pretty. And so I remember those two handbags. And then from there, it was just like collecting, you know, going from like the tiers of like Liz Claiborne and then Dooney and Burke and then Coach and then Gucci, you know, so that's just been my progression,
Yeah.
you know, up to now what I have. But as far as my first, started off with Liz Claiborne, and then I remember that first, you know, beautiful Dooney and Burke bag. I don't even know what happened. And that's sad. And I was like, God, why did I do
you
that?
wish you had it.
Yeah.
Because now a lot of people are looking around for like the vintage styles,
lot
and
of
I do have
vintage.
one piece left. I do have one. I have one that my mom purchased for me. It was a navy one. As I was doing my progression of handbags, I started to sell all of my Liz Claiborne ones, and then I had my Dooney and Burke ones, and I had those, and I would buy them, and I had them in so many colors because they would just come out really, really pretty, like the drawstring, you know. And I had a lot of them, and then I ended up then getting an interest in Coach. And so it's like, okay, if I'm going to progress to Coach, then I need to go ahead and sell like these that I have. And that's how I've done a lot of my handbags back then. Yeah.
Kind of rolling
Because,
into the
yes,
next
because
This
it's
is
just,
after high school.
yes, this is after high school. So, right, because like we're like 19, 20, 21, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I wasn't, you know, and I wasn't one of those that had like parents that were both working like good, you know, they weren't, you know, my dad was educated and degreed and he had his good job, but my mom, you know, she didn't have, at that time she didn't have her, she wasn't a citizen, so just making a
My
minimum
mom
income.
didn't
Yeah,
work either. My mom wasn't a citizen. She couldn't speak English,
Yeah.
so she just
yeah,
stayed home.
yeah. And so the main income was coming from like,
My
you know,
dad.
from my dad. Yeah.
Same
And
here.
so, so then I wasn't one that like girls that we saw in school, right? That they had like Louis Vuittons and they had all these kinds of bags. Like I was lucky to have gotten the one that I was gifted, you know, for graduation. But that's how I would end up selling them and then like buy different
Yeah.
ones, right? As my tastes changed. And so I remember I was selling them off, and wherever I worked, the girls were like, they would like my handbags. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna sell this one. And so they were like, okay, well, I'll buy it off of you. And so I was selling them all off. And then my mom finally said, she was like, save one. She was like, you're selling them all. She was like, save at least one handbag. She's like, so out of all of the ones that you have, you know, save one of them. So this way you don't regret it.
Aren't you
Yes.
glad you had
Yes.
that?
And so I wish I would have kept the
Yeah.
one that they gave me from
Yeah.
graduation, and I don't even know what the heck happened to it. I mean, I think she had some, like because as sometimes I would get tired of it, and then I would pass it on to her.
Yeah.
And so she kept a few of them, but then she stored them, and she was like, I mean, the other day she was like, oh my gosh, she was like, no, it got destroyed, right?
Yeah.
And so she was like, I just threw it away. So I wish I would have kept a couple more, but I'm glad at least have one vintage one
Yeah.
that she gifted me. And it was back then when we had Foley's, right before it's Macy's,
Oh, yeah.
and they would engrave the back of the little Dooney and Burke charm. So I have my initials engraved on the back of the little duck.
I wish they
Foley's
bring
used
that
to
back.
have-
Yeah.
Foley's used to have a counter at North Star
Yeah.
Mall, and they were inside the glass.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Did you ever go
No.
to Foley's then?
No. I'm the lowbrow friend. I'm the lowbrow friend. So we didn't do any of that. However, in my days, whenever I started working, my big loves were jewelry and shoes.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why, because jewelry, I repel jewelry. I always have. I've lost every piece of jewelry that I expensive piece of jewelry. But my thing were shoes.
Yeah.
But you know, I used to get shoes from like, there was, you know, Payless, if y'all know what Payless is.
Payless, I did Payless.
Yeah, and it wasn't about the fancy, expensive stuff. It was about just the different styles.
Looking cute.
Exactly.
It's about looking cute. More options.
Yes.
Cheap
So
prices.
my favorite outfit back in high school was my mini skirt, denim skirt, and I had these gold high top tennies. Gold high top tennies and this red blouse. And that was like my love. I mean, that was just, I love to wear that outfit. And so that was like my biggest thing. However, my first handbag, what I remember is, well, there's two really that come to my mind, is that when I was about 5 years old, I was taking my 5-year-old picture and we were at Josky's. The one that I went to was Josky's.
Downtown?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Josky's had the bottom basement,
Yeah.
which is where we shopped, which is all the clearance items and things like that. So I remember going down there. There was a whole long thing, and my mom said, "Let's pick a dress." And I can remember it like if it was yesterday, shopping for the dress for my 5-year-old pictures. And we were looking and looking, and she had found a dress, and I just feel I can remember see like the lights, ta-da! You know, it was a little dress that had a handbag. You know, it had a shoulder bag attached to it, and I told her, "This is the one I want," not because of the dress, but because of the handbag, the bag that came along, the little shoulder bag. And I have a picture, I don't know if I can still find it, but I have a picture of me in that, and that's like my mom's favorite picture. It's my favorite picture too, because I can remember. So that was, I was 5 years old, and then probably where my love of denim came in, and my next bag, I think I was probably somewhere about 8, 9, 10 in that age range. My dad, he traveled. He was self-employed, and he was a salesman, and he went out and had commissioned this lady that he come across. She made handbags, and so she made denim bags out of true blue jeans. So now we call it custom. There we just call it was poor people making stuff, and my dad was helping them out. And she embroidered our names. My mom's, she had a matching bag to me, and I had my name on it. It had Dee Dee on there, and then my mom's had her name on it. And they were matching, but mine was more appropriate for my age, and hers was, you know, definitely more appropriate for the age she was at. And I remember carrying that forever, for a long, long time. And I still had it, I know, when my son was born, but I don't know where it's at, have no idea where it's at now. But that's, I think I discovered a few months ago that's where my love of denim came, because my dad had given it to us. It was an expensive item for him to grab, to get, and it was like, it was custom, you know, even then, because they were embroidered, and that was like back then, like hand embroidery, or even if they had machines, it was very different how they do stuff now. And I remember I just loved that. I love that. It had my name on it. And it was back in the 70s, so you had your name, and then you had those 70s flowers, like the daisies and all that kind of stuff, had that on there. So that actually probably was like my first, those were my first two handbags. My first two handbags. Yeah. And then when we go to like the now, I am the newbie to the group as far as the luxury collecting or the handbag collecting. I came from a modest background, which I think we all did, but if I paid more than $10 for a handbag, it would drive me crazy. I just not. It was whatever the Walmart special was, that's what I carried. You know, that's what I carried. And so I just, it was not my thing. I had my kids, I was in school, we had, you know, all multiple things. So it just was not something that was on my radar. Then in 2023, like January of 2023, we were getting ready for our 30th anniversary, and all things changed because I was looking for Effie jewelry and to celebrate our 30th anniversary, and I ran into Dawn Loves Couture. She was talking about Effie, and she said that she still had a Dooney bag that she was unboxing on her next episode, and I was like, Dooney's still around? And at that point, I had not carried a real handbag. I had totes and things like car totes, but I had not carried a handbag of any kind on my person for over 10 years because I was sick from a rheumatoid arthritis. I really wasn't into all that, you know, it just was not something that called my name. And the way that, like, if it was the first designer bag, I guess I like to put the label instead of luxury, like designer, because it kind of connotates a different thing in people's head. Yeah, but the first designer bag actually was a Vera Bradley. At my husband's work, they used to sell bring in vendors, and they would have the Vera Bradleys there, and he used to be able to buy them for us, and then he would wait till they would, go on sale, and he would bring them there. And really the discovery of it was my daughter, our daughter, my daughter, when I guess she was about 8. And that was the whole thing, was Vera Bradley. Vera Bradley was at her age. And so then I was like, those are old lady stuff, because it was, to me, I'm thinking, that's an old lady bag. But it was such a versatile bag. And it was something that...
Their duffels are awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what she would love. And the backpacks, that's what she would like. And then I liked all the little ones that had, because they have
all these pockets.
Yes, and everything, there was a place and everything. So I used to get the little, they were kind of camera bag styles, but they were the crossbodies that had, you could put, at that time, your phone in it, and you could put all the cards.
They have
So like a wristlets, now they have
leather
leather ones. They
ones
rebranded, So we did that. So that's really probably the first like designer bag that, if you really want to say it, that's really the first one. And that wasn't until, let's see, I was probably in my early 30s, I guess, when that happened. And then in 2023, which I'm 55 now, so I was 54. I was 54, right? I was just barely turning, I was actually 52, 53. I don't know. It was
You were in the club.
I was almost in the club or in the club. I don't know what it was.
Now she's really in the club. Right? She's got lots of bags.
But was Jeannie and Burke. Because in high school, like you were saying, in high school, all the girls would wear them. Now, I did love the barrel bag. And the reason I asked you if it was 100 green, because that was a bag that I wanted. Everybody wore the taupe one, but I wanted the green 100 green, because our school colors were green and gold, green and yellow. Okay. And so that's what I wanted, because I was even then very, very spirited as far as, school spirit and all that kind of stuff. And plus it was against the grain, not everybody used that.
Right.
So I remember one time talking and asking one of the girls who carried one and said, "Oh, you can't afford this," and walked off. So the mean girls back then. Mean girls. So I had a mean girls. So to me I was like, forget it, I don't care. Then it was one of those things that turned me off. It was like only snooty people worried about handbags. And so it turned me off to the whole handbag stuff. I was like, so that was, I think, probably when my $10 bag rule probably really came in, because I was like, well, I ain't gonna waste my money on that, because of how I was treated, Yeah. But then when I was in 2023, the whole thing with Jeannie and Burke, when I saw it on Dawn's channel, I was like, it came back, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I could own one. Went on the website, and this is what I found.
It got her in trouble.
This is the culprit that started everything.
How pretty this is.
It is my power color. It's Jeannie and Burke, and you know what Jeannie and Burke stands for? Dee Beam.
I love that.
So it's really not just, it's self-monogrammed. I don't have to worry about paying for something that's monogrammed, And it was just my love. However, as the year has progressed, or a year and a half, however long it's been, has progressed, this is probably not a bag that I would buy now, because now I know myself. I know the things that, because of my disability, things I can carry, cannot carry. And so it is a little bit too big. Yes, it's too big for me. It's heavier because it's the older pebble grain.
It has patitas. It has feet.
Oh, it does have feet. It's a beautiful bag, but the roll handles are perfect. But I need them to come down, to be able to come down. But it carries a lot, and I'm not self-disciplined enough to not stuff it. So it's already kind of heavy, and it carries a whole bunch of stuff. And so it's a really different kind of bag that I would carry now. Yeah. But this was it. I love the red. The red.
It's a pretty color.
It is a pretty color.
And I don't know if it's red, or I don't know if it's tomato red. I don't know which red it is, because Judy has lots of reds.
Yeah, because it has a little bit of, not like a burnt orange, but you know what I mean. It's not. It's not like it's not a fire engine red.
No,
and
it's a very muted. Muted tomato red, like a muted.
See, that's why I'm wondering if it was tomato red, because now that I have my other red Genies, it does look more tomato,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
It's
it could
just
be.
muted because of the pebble
And
grain.
did Dee Dee Bean pay attention to that? No.
No.
She just looked at it. It was on sale, and
Yeah.
it was red, and I
And I was telling you, I have the backpack one that you put on your
Oh,
back,
like this?
shaped like a little egg, and you put
Mhm.
it on your
Oh,
back.
yes,
I
yes, yes.
love that bag,
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I got it.
Yeah.
But see how soft it is?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very
No,
soft.
I love Dooney and Burke has
Yeah.
really,
They have
really good leather.
amazing
They do.
quality.
Dee Dee shared her lovely little Dooney and Burke bag. I went ahead and pulled out my first luxury bags, and so the handbag that I was mentioning for Dooney and Burke, this is my vintage handbag from Dooney and Burke that actually was one that my mom gave me. And so of course this is the one that actually has like this buckle, and it has the nice long strap with actually like the leather on it.
See, I like that.
I love
take
that
the
suede
stuff.
on the
They
inside,
were
yeah.
leather back then.
Mm-hmm. And so
What-
you have
the
this
suede
nice
inside.
interior. And look, see, and I shared this with you guys on one of my Dooney and Burke unboxings, but this is one of my also vintage little coin purse with a little kiss lock, right? Because my amiga gave this, my Vata Fabulous amiga that I mention all the time. She's the one that gifted me this. And what's cute is, like, who would have thought back then that it had the card slots here on the inside? Like, I would have never have like thought. And then of course, you know, you have your little number, right, where you would submit your little insurance card and stuff like that. But you have a nice little long back pocket, and then the nice long strap with like the leather
Nice
detail
chunky
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
So they went to these from this to going to where they only had it here
Yeah.
to now they don't have them at all.
It's just
Yeah.
like this,
It's
like
just
just
the
that
thin,
part.
the thin strap. Yeah.
And you have the adjustment, but
Yeah.
so I'm glad I actually kept this one, at least from my collection, as like my mom said, to go ahead and hold on to one. And so since this was one of the last ones that she actually purchased for me, I went ahead and decided to hold on to this one. And I just love that it has like the original like duck right in
And
the
that's why
front.
I'm like, I'm not crazy about the ones with the metal, only because when I was
Yeah.
younger, this
That's
is what I
what-
had.
This is
Yeah.
the, uh-huh.
And if you've never owned one like this, I guess it doesn't really bother you as much, but
Right.
I really like
Traditional
this,
for us.
the traditional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then now I'm trying to see. Yeah, this one has it. This one has a little
have your
bit
little-
patch.
mhm,
It's not the round one, but it's a square. But it
Yes.
has a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not all of them have it, and it depends. Now it's kind of been the Florentine leather has them, and then just some of the this. Actually, I haven't seen any pebble grain that have this lately.
Really?
Yeah, but it could be the ones that I'm looking at. So yeah.
But yeah, so that's what like, so now like the other newer styles that I have purchased, I always make sure that they have the duck logo
you do
here
that
on
too,
the front.
see? Yeah.
Yes, I don't do the ones that have the little gold
Metal.
plaque that
Yeah.
say Dooney Burke or
Yeah.
whatever. It has to have the duck. Yeah,
Yeah.
because this is to me what I remember back
Yeah.
from like the
Yeah.
80s and the 90s when they were very popular.
And I do it all.
You don't discriminate, right? Like you get them all.
She just
Yeah.
loves Dooney, period.
Yes,
So-
yes.
So I
Yes.
have all of them, I think.
Exactly.
I have bought some vintage ones that actually have the name really coolly spelled out, Dooney and Burke. And it
Really?
pops off, yeah. And I'm like, and everybody's like, in the Dooney land, in the Dooney world, that there's a whole little group of us, and they're like, where did you get that? And I said, shopgoodwill.com. You too can buy that.
And I have actually been wanting, I just haven't found the right one, but I have been wanting to get one with the DB
Yes.
because these are my husband's initials, right?
Oh,
the DB, these are my husband's
right.
initials.
Yeah.
And so I've been meaning to
Yeah.
get one, but I just haven't found like the right
Yeah.
one or the color or
Yeah.
whatever. But I love these charms.
I
Yeah.
do too.
You know what I mean?
I want
And
the
even
charm
if
thing
they
back
sold
like
this
that.
separately, like if they just, I'd be all over it if they just
Well,
sold
they
the
do
charms.
sell,
Do they?
like, you can buy the,
Just one letter.
one letter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you can find these though on eBay, like a lot
Okay.
of times, just this.
Just like that.
Yeah, and I like to walk around in the ding ding ding. Okay, some people don't like that; it drives them crazy.
It's like a charm bracelet. You like
Exactly.
the little
I love the sound of that. You know what it reminds me of probably because I never had one. When homecoming, because Texas is all
Yes,
about
the
homecoming.
moms,
the moms, and they would
The
walk
cowbells,
down.
with
Yeah, the
cowbells.
yes, that's what it reminds me of. But I never got to have one. Now I did get one when my son was playing in sports and
Yeah.
stuff. So I made my own, and I put a lot of them so it could go ding 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 ding
Yes,
ding ding.
yes.
But I guess that's probably why.
We're in that season right now for the
Yeah,
moms.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
when I was in
Yeah.
Michael's the other day. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. It does remind you of the little cowbells
Yeah.
that for the
For the moms, yeah.
Aw. And then my Gucci handbag, this was when I started to sell
This is so cool.
a lot of my
By the
Dooney
way.
Burks, and then I went into Coach, and then I started to sell all of those to then fund my first Gucci. And I got this one when I was probably like maybe 31 years old when I got this one, and I just love the fact that it had like the horse bit, and I love the beautiful braided strap on it. And I remember hunting this one down because on the Gucci website it was like on sale, and so I remember like hunting it down, and I think it got shipped from like New York and stuff, but I got it on sale, and I think back then it was like 40 or 50% off, I can't remember. But she was loved because she was really truly like my first, like, you know,
It's
like luxury bag to me at that time, right? From the step up, next up from like Coach. And so yeah, so she's got a lot of nice like love, but I keep her. I just haven't had the heart to like let her go, and she just fits nice and thin or whatever. But yeah.
See, now I would pay money to buy that. I would like definitely would want that. It's like,
Laura, what do you think?
let's see. Let's see if it, I don't think it's gonna pass the shoulder test.
Oh, it does!
See you later. I'm out here now. Let's see. You gotta show them how it works. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a slip
Just-
up.
it just slips
Okay.
up.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
it just slips up, and then I have my, and I actually have the receipt. I just have it because I try and keep all my receipts together, right, for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she just has a nice opening.
It's
cloth
so nice
material.
and clean and
Yeah. And but yeah, I know when I got her, I loved it because it was, you know, the fact that I got it on sale, and she was just really nice back then, and you know.
And Laura does
2005,
do-
2006,
Yeah.
I think, is when I got this one. So she's
It's
20 years old. She's
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
I've had her for
She's
20 years
beautiful.
old. Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Let me stuff these back in here. So yeah, so I'm glad I haven't gotten rid of. I'll put this one over there.
Oh, it goes
I'm
in.
glad I haven't gotten rid of this one
Yeah.
because I had thought of,
Of
you know,
getting rid of it, yeah.
selling it, but I was like, nah, I just don't have the heart. So yeah,
yeah.
but she's my first little Gucci.
I have been collecting luxury for years. My first luxury piece was in high school. I had gotten a Dooney and Burke bag when I was in my junior year, and it was beautiful. I'm telling you, I don't have it anymore, but ever since then, I've been collecting a little bit here and there, and I had a nice big collection of Coach and Dooneys when I was in my 30s, and then my house got broken into. Don't have any of that anymore. And when I hit my 40s, I started collecting them all over again. So I have a nice big collection of Louis Vuitton, I have Gucci, I have Ferragamo, I have Chanel, I have a variety of luxury, and then I also have Coach and Dooneys. I have been loving collecting these bags for years, and my first bag, now I'm gonna say my first name brand bag, luxury bag. This was considered, you know, luxury. In my junior year in high school, my dad and we went to the military base, and I saw this beautiful Dooney and Burke bag, and I thought, how am I gonna get my dad to buy me that? Because that's not what we came here for. I was getting some high top Nikes. I don't know if you guys remember how popular that was,
Yes.
the high top. And I saw this like royal blue. It was so beautiful. It was like a different design than anybody else that had a bag, that had the Dooney and Burke bag in my high school. And I asked my dad for it, and I was so shocked. He was like, yes, I'll get that for you.
Wow.
And it was this little cute camera bag. It was like this, and it fit everything that I needed. You know, when you're young, you don't carry big bags.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. The next day when I carried it to school, everyone, I swear, people were stopping me at the school. Where'd you
What
get
is
that
that?
color?
Yeah.
We'd never seen that style, because the base actually carries different styles than other places sometimes. They don't carry the same things. And so I felt so, I don't know, I felt so good. I
So special.
I
Yeah.
felt so special. And then the Nike's tennis shoes that my dad also got me was a different color than anyone had. They only had like white back then, and they started coming out with colored ones. But I got the first colored one ever, and I got this real pale yellow Nike shoes, Nike high top tennis shoes. And I remember putting on my royal blue Dooney and Burke bag and that pale yellow Nikes, and I just got so much attention for like a whole 2 months. I was so excited. I was never like the popular girl, and I was kind of new to that school because I had just moved from El Paso, and so no one really knew me there. And after that, I felt like a lot of people knew me. You know, that girl
that was your coming out bag.
The girl with the And after high school, I got married because I got pregnant. I got pregnant, had a baby, got married, had a baby, whatever. And from there, my husband would buy me after a couple years we were married. He started buying me Coach bags. They were very popular. Yeah. So I started collecting Coach bags and some Dooney bags, and I had this beautiful, huge collection. I never really took, we didn't have YouTube back then, and we didn't get to talk about it, and I had probably like 30 bags.
Wow.
It was,
30 Coach?
Well, like 30 altogether.
Okay.
Coach, Dooney. I might have had maybe a couple of off brands, but I don't remember what they were. I didn't focus on them. I really liked my Dooneys. And I might be exaggerating. It could have been 20. I know it was a lot. Like I was starting to figure out where to put it, and I didn't have any place to put it. But so I had this huge love for Coach bags and Dooney bags when I was in my 20s, and then up to my 30s, and then until it got stolen. Like I said, it got stolen. My house got broken into. All my jewelry got stolen. All my bags. And then everything in my house, like my TV, computer, everything. I was a single woman, and I was dating my husband, who was my boyfriend back then. And when my bags got stolen, he went out and bought me my first Louis Vuitton bag. And so I treasured that bag so much, and I would say 6 months after that, he bought me another Louis Vuitton bag. So by the time I was 41, I had three. I actually had 3 Louis Vuitton. I actually bought me a mini pochette right when I got a divorce, and I was 34. I bought me a little, not a mini pochette, a pochette accessoire.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. And back then, I got it for $250.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
$250.
Yes.
And that was in 2004.
Okay.
And I remember being so proud of it. I love that bag. I gave it to my oldest daughter. She asked me for it. I didn't know if I wanted to give it to her, but I have the multi-pochette crossbody bag, and I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and give it to her. But I have some type of attachment to that bag.
Yes, yeah.
And I gave it to her, and then I asked for it back because she wanted another bag of mine. I said, let's do a swap. So she gave it back, and then I gave it back to her not that long ago because she still wanted it. So I gave it back to her. And so my first 3 high-end luxury bags were my Louis Vuittons, and I probably had all 3 of those by the time I was 41. And then from there, my luxury purchases just grew and grew. My husband just kept on buying me bags because he knew my bags all got stolen.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make sure that he can give those to me.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. I picked out also some really nice Coach bags that I loved. And I hunted for this egg-shaped backpack that I had from Dooney from back then. It's not the same shape, but it's close. It's close, and I purchased that one as well. And I don't have any of the 3 bags, the Louis Vuitton bags, anymore. I sold it. I sold the bigger bags, and I gave the pochette accessoire to my daughter, so I don't have those.
It's still in the family, though.
That one is still in the family. And the Never Full I sold, and then I don't know what the other one's called, but it's a unique looking shape bag. It's very pretty, but I guess that's about it. But I've always had the big love for handbags since I can remember. Now, when I was in middle school and early high school, I told myself I'm never carrying a purse. I just thought it just seemed too foo-foo, too girly. But once I hit, I think, my sophomore year, then I'm like, you know, I want to carry a few things that I can't carry. So that's when I started carrying, you know, maybe a smaller bag where I can just put what I needed, like my money and stuff. And then by the time I hit my junior year, that's when I got my first Dooney. So proud of that. I don't know where it went because I don't think I had it when it got stolen.
Oh, you think you had it ready? Pass it on by then?
I don't even know. I might have had it. Maybe I just
don't remember.
Yeah.
That's like some of the ones I had bought, like as far as like the Doonies and then the Coaches. I was like, what did I do with them? Like, where did they? Where did they go? Did I sell it? Did I give it to somebody? Because like some of them I would give to my mom because it was, you know, it was going up from Liz Claiborne to Dunionberg to Coach, and then I sold all of those off then to get Gucci, and so I've just been going up the tiers, and you know, especially like when we're younger, we don't think about it, right? Like we don't think like to hold on to things. And my aunt gave me my very first Gucci that she passed down. You know, she had it, and so she ended up giving it to me, and I wore that sucker to death. And then I gave it to my mom, and then she used it, and so like. I'm like, did we sell it? Like, did you keep it, put it away, and then it get destroyed? Like, I don't even know what happened to it, and I wish I would have still had it. Yes, because especially it's her, and she's no longer with us. But we're young, and I feel like we're young and dumb, and I didn't think to like really value it. And I didn't buy my first. You know, when we're talking into like more of the elite luxury brands, right? I didn't get my first Gucci until I was in my 30s. And then later from there started to add in like some Louis Vuitton bags. And so at that point for me, I feel like, okay, I'm more at an age, I'm a grown woman, right? And now I have more understanding of the money that it takes to then purchase it, and just being more careful with them, and just, you know, happy to have them in my collection. But you know, they were ones that I would buy here and there, to where it was like, in order for me to have that one, I had to sell. Like I sold more bags in order to afford that one, because then too our incomes changed over the years. And so then it was just like, it made me appreciate them more, and really use them, because now it's just like we buy them, and sometimes we might only use them once or twice a year.
We have so many.
We have so many.
And sometimes
we're not talking about how many we have.
I do keep count.
I'm not exactly sure how much I have, but I know when I was counting on my shelves, I think it was like 35, but I didn't count the ones down in my drawers and underneath. So what I have up here is, I think, over 35. You know, because I move them around too. So sometimes I'm thinking that I have too many bags, and then other times I'm like, hell no, I don't. I want more. I mean, but I try to make sure that I have the money, or at least pay for that one first. Before I get another luxury piece or another, you know, Coach, which I've really been into.
Yes, we have been down that Coach rabbit hole. And I just can't find my way out.
It's really hard not to buy them. I go onto Amazon all the time, because Amazon obviously sells Coach. I guess they teamed up, and it's really hard not to go on there and just, you know, do the 4-payment plan or whatever. Because that's what I do. 4-payment plan.
It's like QVC, Easy Pay.
It's
Easy
Pay. I have like 3 going on sometimes. Well, I had the black Coach, and then which one? I had another one going at one time. So I had 2 Coach bags, the 4-payment on Amazon once. It's like I should have just bought one and another. I mean, I'm saying
that's okay. That's okay. I do. This will be a topic coming up, but I'm into all the payment plans. That's the only way this girl can have anything. But she was saying she was in her 30s when she got her first Gucci. I'm 55, and I'm just like barely doing it, and I am thrifting it. I'm thrifting it because the only thing I have bought really, I bought a Louis Vuitton the card case from the boutique, but online. And then I've also bought Coach. I bought a Coach, and it's because I had bought a fake Coach on eBay. So I don't know enough about Coach. There's so many details to know what the difference is. I can't tell the difference in Junie and Burke now because I've learned enough. But with Coach I can, and so then I purchased new. I try to get them on sale and try to wait as long as I can, but those tabbies, quilted tabbies, really have me. And
they have me.
Yeah, but thanks to Amazon, I've got some on sale. Thank goodness for that. So I try
My
to
pink
do
one.
that.
My
but-
pink one I got on sale.
Well, we're twinning now.
Yeah. I love. I want the all black one in the wristlet.
Oh yes.
All black, because it would look. You can
Yeah.
wear it with your.
I want a
you know,
so black,
pretty-
but I'm
yeah.
So black.
That's what it's
So
called.
black.
So black.
because I want a Chanel. I mean, I have a so black Chanel mini, little mini reissue, but I want a classic flap style or like the reissue flap, and I want a so black. But I'm like, I just don't know if I want to spend the money for it, right?
yeah.
So it's like, so let me get a feeler, let me get a taste, because I felt it in person. I was telling Dee Dee earlier that I went on Base a few weeks ago, and they actually had one Coach tabby and the smaller size, I think the size of the
20?
black one, and it was in a really pretty, like a sage color, right? And it was pretty,
Oh.
and I felt it, and I remember feeling y'all's pink one, and I was like, okay, this is soft. But then they had a rack where they were hanging those other little smaller ones, not like your little, not like your
Right,
little
you're
ones.
talking- I think they're
It was like it was a
12s.
double zipper
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that. And I felt that sucker, and I was like, damn, this feels like Chanel. Like it was
That's what
buttery
I feel
soft.
like with
it was
my
buttery soft.
my Coach 26 pillow.
Mhm.
You know, that one feels so luxurious.
Yes.
I'm I'm obsessed with that one. I just don't use it as much. But
Is that? Did you say there was the quilted or is that
yeah,
the
my
pillow?
quilted,
The quilted.
my quilted one. I mean, it feels luxurious.
Yeah.
Wow.
And opening it, I'm like, holy crap, it's beautiful.
So you're almost like,
Yeah,
why do I
yeah.
want? But you know,
Yeah.
I guess it's the you have to tear up. You have to go up the
Yes,
tiers. You gotta go up
yes,
those ladders.
yes,
You know.
yeah.
You
It's
don't
like,
have to, but, you know.
this is the feeling of having luxury. I'm going to explain it in a little version here. So, you know when you go to the gas station and you think I'm going to get some coffee, right? You pick it up. You're not feeling it. You just know you need it, okay?
Yeah.
But then you go to Starbucks, okay? You go to Starbucks and you're like, I want a blah, blah latte, and you carry that cup. And it just makes you feel a little bit more elevated, a little bit more different than carrying that gas station coffee.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree?
Mhm, yes.
So it's kind of like that with, I guess, with the Chanel. You know, it's like you feel, there's a certain feeling, okay, to carrying luxury.
Yeah.
Do we have to have it? No.
No.
But it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's
It
like a
does.
flex. Like I always tell my husband, I was like, you're flexing.
Yeah.
It's a flex.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
flexing that I'm drinking a Starbucks, you know, because you have the Starbucks
Yes.
cup or
And you just
whatever.
carry it,
brand-
and you carry
yeah.
it through the mall, and you're just like, ooh, this feels, you know, I mean, it's just the feeling of carrying it and drinking it, and you just feel good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And it's like everybody has their own little niche. Everybody has their own little thing, and it was really funny because I had my Wi-Fi updated, and the AT&T guy came in, and we were doing a live because I had to simulate a live, and he comes in the room. He goes, "Oh wow." And I said, "Yeah, sorry." He says, "No," and without even a thought, without even of anything, he was like, "Oh, everybody has their own thing. I have my cars, you have your bags."
Yes.
And I was like, "Yeah." And so from that moment on, it was kind of like, you know what? Don't feel bad about it, or don't if you're doing it responsibly to your income, to what you can do,
Which you can
you know,
afford.
how you can afford it, however you plan, you know, your purchases, then it's okay. It's okay, and that's how I feel. Because sometimes I feel like I'm going, you know, because you know, some people don't understand.
Some people don't understand, but it's like
Yeah.
you say, everybody has, you know, everybody has their own vicio, as we say in
Something.
Spanish.
Yes,
It's their
yeah.
own thing. Because whether somebody's a gamer, they spend tons
Exactly.
of money on games.
Yeah.
People are gun collectors, and there's a ton of gun collectors. My husband,
Cigars.
My
People who
husband
want to
has-
work on their vehicles,
Yeah,
and like kind of
yeah.
like a hobby,
Yeah.
that costs money.
Right. Or some, like my husband in the military, he has guys that they would buy, their thing was collecting freaking like liquor bottles. And
Yes,
they were hitting
yes,
liquor stores
yes.
to
and it's like, okay, well, once you drink that liquor, it's gone. You might have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars for it, but we have a handbag that we can still use, and we're going to have it for a while, and I can still get money from it if I decide to run and sell it.
Exactly.
Right? But everybody's got their own little thing of whatever it is.
So don't judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't judge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have our little loves.
We have
and
our
this is
own
one of them. Is handbags.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, these are really good stories of us sharing
right.
our first of our collections and how we started this handbag addiction that we have. Well, thank you so much, amigos, for joining us here for our very, very first Tres Amigas Table Talk. We hope you got to learn a little bit more about us, and it was just nice, amigas, hearing your stories of your first luxury bags and learning more about you guys. So I hope you got to learn more about us as well. And we look forward to seeing you back here for our next Table Talk. This video will be posted on my channel since this is the first one, but please be sure that you are following my amigas, Didi and Deleen, on their channels, because for the next other videos that we release, they will also be posted on their channels. So the next Table Talk that we will be doing will be actually hosted by Deleen. So please be sure you go onto her channel and look for the ones that she will upload to her channel, as well as when Didi uploads the videos up to her channel. So we will each separately have videos on each of our channels. So please be sure you are subscribed. We look forward to having you join our familias, our little YouTube channel families. Please be sure to leave us a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for any future Table Talk videos that we do, we would love to hear from you guys, and we look forward to seeing you back here for our next Table Talk. Have a wonderful and blessed day, amigos. Hasta la próxima. Until next time, bye-bye.
Dining in Gucci, with Mrs. Versace. Spend that, custom made this square. Then you go, show it up.